What's cooking? Good looking. 3 years worth of empty makeup problems. I mean, maybe I have a problem. Three years worth of makeup product empties is what I'm bringing you today. This is quite long awaited. The first part was a while ago, but it honestly put me off filming part 2 because it took me so long. But we're here, it's happening, we're doing it. I don't think it's gonna take me as long. This is a very telling video. I've learned a lot about myself in going through these. I definitely have favorite products. There are definitely parts of my makeup that I don't use so much and parts that I use an absolute shit ton of. I haven't devised the system yet. I think I'm gonna go in order in which I put them on my face. That seems like a natural way of doing this. So if you want to see all of the makeup products I used throughout the past 3 years of my makeup no buy, then keep on watching, baby. Let's go. My throwaway bag is ready and raring to go. It's ready to be filled. Also, I missed back to MAC. It's no longer a thing. It ended this month. I have some MAC products that I could have sent to back to MAC and I haven't done that and I'm really annoyed at myself. It's fine. We move on. Life goes on. And let's be real, I don't need any more makeup, so it's fine. Section 1. Primers. I have 3 empty by Terry, there's a loud car, by Terry Cellular Rose Brightening CC Serums in the shade Sunny Flash. I have one of these on the go at the moment. Here he is. This is one of my favorite products of all time. I went through a real serious love affair with this. I'm actually surprised that there's only 3. I really did think there'd be more of these. As soon as I run out, I always buy a new one. This is the perfect bronzy base. It looks gorgeous on its own just to like brighten the skin, even it out, give you some warmth. I wear it a lot in the summer, but it's also beautiful mixed with your primer, or if your foundation's too light, I mix it with my foundation. It just adds glow. It adds this beautiful bronze finish. I'm obsessed with this. It has skincare benefits. It's expensive, so I'm kind of relieved that there's only 3 in here, you know? I'm actually gonna keep the mini so I can refill it with the one I've got now, so I can take it away with me on trips and things. But this won't be a surprise to you. This is one of my favorite products ever. Another one of my all-time favorite products that I mix religiously with the By Terry is the Neod Photography Fluid in opacity 12%. Again, I've got a new one. I repurchased it. There's one on the go at the minute. The most amazing product if you're taking flash photography. It makes your skin look so perfect. Like the way it reflects the light of the camera, it makes your skin look smooth, even. It looks filtered. It's incredible. I don't see enough people talking about this. It is one of my favorite products and I've literally used this for like 6 years. The one I've got on the go now is probably my 3rd bottle ever. You don't need to use a lot of this. It lasts you a really long time and it's not crazy expensive. They sell it on Beauty Bay. Definitely try it. It's such a great product. I did repurchase this. I have 2 of the NARS Radiance Primers. Another favorite. Again, I've got one on the go at the moment. This is a gorgeous hydrating base, really glowy and dewy, and it's got SPF 35. Yes, SPF 35. So it's a great daytime summer primer to go under your makeup. It gives you that sun protection as well. It's glorious. It smells really nice. It makes your makeup last all day. Of course, I've repurchased it. Absolutely gorgeous. 2 of these. We've got a classic, the Hangover Primer from Too Faced. I have a new one of these. They sent one out to me. Would I have repurchased it if they hadn't sent it to me? I actually don't know. I do really like it and I use it and it's a beautiful, hydrating, nourishing primer. Like I really do love how it feels. Usually when I go for a primer, I want it to add obvious glow and this just kind of feels like a moisturizer. It is definitely hydrating and if you've got dry skin, it is a lovely primer. It also smells really nice, but I like my primers to be quite multi-purpose. Like I like them to also give me extra glow and I feel like this doesn't do it as much. It just kind of sinks in and hydrates, which is great if that's what you want, but like the NARS adds like a visible radiance to the skin. So I do still use this. I still really like it, but I have others that I prefer. For example, the Vive Skin Nova. This is empty, obviously. I do have a new one on the go. Ding. So this has that hydration. It's got loads of skincare benefits in it, but it also gives your skin a visible radiance and adds a lot of glow to the base. So it's like a glow product as well as a hydrating primer. So it ticks more boxes for me than the Too Faced one does. It also smells amazing. Oh my God, it smells so good. And I love it. It's one of my all-time favorite primers, hence why I finished one up. Moving on swiftly, we've got my first empty from this year's Project 10 pan, my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is one of my all-time favorites. It's a staple. I of course have multiple of these in my collection. I have like lots of different shades. I use it most days. I absolutely love this product so much, so much. You guys know I finished this recently. RIP, we got one of the Becca First Light priming filters. I do actually still have a tube of this on the go. I don't wear it that often though. I should bring it out. It's in my big collection, not my desk. Unless I'm filming like a tutorial that needs kind of specific products, I very rarely go into the bulk of my collection these days. I really do tend to stick to my desk. And eventually, you know, with me not buying as much makeup, etc., my stomach's rumbling, I'm really hungry. Ugh. I think I will eventually downsize to just my desk worth of product. I think a huge declutter is definitely on the cards for soon, because a lot of the makeup in there I think is probably going to be expired anyway, because I really don't reach into it enough. There are a couple of these in there and I think I'm going to put them into my makeup desk so that I use them up, because I did really love this primer. It smells really good. It's really radiant. Like, it adds such a beautiful finish to your skin. It is stunning. I just don't use it enough, but I did use up one. I'll try and use up the other two as well, because I really liked this primer. We're about 5 minutes in and my feet are already going numb. It's because I sit cross-legged on my chair, so I have to constantly switch them around. Anyway, another primer that I love and that I have on the go at the moment is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Primer. This is another skincare based primer, which I really do like a lot. I like my I'm already losing my voice. Are you kidding me? This is gonna be a long video if I'm already losing my voice. This noticeably makes your makeup last and makes your makeup sit really nicely. And it does also have that gorgeous glow. It smells like oranges. It's such a lovely primer. I love it. I use it all the time. I've used up a big one and also a travel one. Definitely a big fan of this one. So far, mostly positive reviews. This is good. This product is actually discontinued. This was from my original Project 10 pan. It's the NARS Super Radiant Booster. I liked, but I would not repurchase it. There are so many products that do something similar that I prefer. This sat a little bit chalky on my skin. Like, it was glowy, but it looked almost, it was like shimmery glowy rather than like radiant glowy, if you know what I mean. I only really liked it mixed with other primers, which kind of defeats the point. You kind of want your primer to stand on its own as well as also being used with other things. This one I wasn't a huge fan of, but I liked it enough to finish it, but I wouldn't repurchase it, and you can't repurchase it anyway, so moving on. Milk Makeup Hydra Grip Primer. I went through a baby one of these. I really did like this primer. However, I have now become a convert. The e.l.f. equivalent to this, which is a fraction of the price, and it works just as well, so I would not repurchase this because the e.l.f. one does an incredible job and it's a fraction of the price. I do like this. I would recommend it, but I prefer the e.l.f. one, taking all things into consideration, including the price point. It does just as good of a job, but it's much cheaper. And finally, for primers, Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. This is a primer and moisturizer hybrid. And this, I have the same issue with the Too Faced one. This one does just feel like a moisturizer, but like a very lightweight moisturizer. It's not like that thick, luxurious, creamy, hydrating moisturizer. It's so lightweight to the point where it doesn't really function for me as a primer or a moisturizer. It's just like a layer that I put on my skin that doesn't really do that much for me. I used it up, I wanted to use it up, but I definitely wouldn't repurchase this. There are so many, like if I wanted a purely hydrating primer, I would go for the Too Faced one over this one. It feels more nourishing, it's thicker, it's creamier, it works more like a primer than this one does. So I wouldn't recommend this personally, but I know loads of people love it, but it's just not for me. So those are the primers. On to foundation. Starting with the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. I used to friggin' love this foundation. My tastes have changed. I'm no longer a raver and misbehaver. This used to be my like filthy night out, I'm gonna be out until 4 AM foundation, because this stuff does not move. This will last on your face through an apocalypse. You could go through the entire Last of Us game and your face will still look flawless at the end. It's heavy duty, it's matte, it's full coverage. If that is something that you are looking for, you would love this. I did love this when that was something I was interested in. It's definitely not my speed these days. I did repurchase it soon after this ran out, but I've barely touched it. I recommend it if this is what you're into. If you want full coverage, longevity, like concrete that looks flawless, don't get me wrong, it's just too much for me these days, then you'll love this, but I will not be repurchasing it personally. But yeah, I have used this up in a big way. It is a great foundation if that's what you want. On the other end of the spectrum, which is much more my speed these days, the MAC Face and Body foundations. I love this foundation. I've repurchased it. I've got it in my collection now. It's a beautiful light coverage. It's so skin-like. It's flawless. It builds beautifully. It photographs beautifully. It was my most used client product when I used to do makeup for other people. I would always pull this out because it just looks amazing on everyone. It's such a stunning foundation. Highly recommend it if you want something that is lightweight and natural looking, but you can build up a decent amount of coverage. Really, really love this. In a similar ilk and a similar bottle, which is absolutely messed up, this was in my original Project 10 pan. This took me so long to finish up. Do you guys remember how long this took me? It was a joke. I actually really did love this foundation. It's the Dior Backstage foundation. It's kind of like a slightly matter sister to the MAC Face and Body. I mean, they look related. This one had a bit more coverage. It was slightly more of a satin finish, less glowy. A really beautiful foundation. I really, really liked it a lot. I won't be repurchasing it, however. It is slightly more expensive. I haven't missed it since I ran out of it. And to me, the iconic Super Smoother Blurring Skin Tint is a really good kind of dupe for this. So I'll be continuing to buy the iconic one, and I won't be repurchasing this. But if you want to get the Dior foundation and you want to treat yourself to it, then I do really like this foundation a lot. 2 bottles of the OG. This is the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. This foundation's been in my collection for around 12 years. Not this bottle, but this product. I have a very fond memory of going to Space NK with my grandma and my papa when I was like 11, 12 to buy my first bottle of like high-end foundation. I saw so many beauty influencers and gurus on YouTube talking about this, and I remember buying my first bottle. I got the shade Santa Fe, which is not my shade. I'm the shade Punjab, if you're wondering. And I loved this foundation, and I still love this foundation. Definitely don't wear it near as much as I used to. In fact, I should probably wear it more. It is beautiful, but I've got 2 empty bottles. I do have one on the go. I will always have one of these in my collection. Such a flawless base. It's stunning. Definitely recommend. We all know that my favorite NARS foundation is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear, which I have an empty of course. This is my favorite foundation. I've got about 4 bottles of it in different shades for every season. It's in my current Project 10 pan. This is where we're at with that. So we're making moves, but once this is run out, I have more of them. Like, I'll never not own this foundation. It's stunning. It lasts so long on your skin while still looking radiant, natural-ish, but you can build it up to a really full coverage. It's the best, most versatile foundation I own. I love it. This is another goodie, which again, I have repurchased. Should I keep saying if I've repurchased it? It is, yeah, I have repurchased it. I'm gonna keep saying it because it says a lot. The Hourglass Stick Foundation. I used this to death. It is completely gone. This is my new kind of clubbing, night out, heavy coverage foundation in replacement of the Urban Decay. It's much lighter on the skin, you use much less product, and it just looks so good in pictures. It looks so smooth. It lasts through everything. Like, you can sweat. Excuse me. Like, you can sweat and this will still look great. Like, it is excellent. I love this. I've got one now. I use it all the time. Really, really love this. Finally, I have a Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua. I am a big fan of the Chanel Vitalumiere foundations. There's this one and then the original one, which I also really love, which I actually don't have at the moment. I used it up and it's all gone and I never repurchased it. Maybe I'll get that at the end of this Project 10 pan. But this is beautiful, very, very lightweight, very sheer. This reminds me of the MAC Face and Body, but slightly more coverage. So if you like that look and feel, but you want a little bit more, then I would recommend this one. But again, it is a little bit on the pricey side. It is a Chanel foundation, so if it's not in your price point, then there are loads of high street equivalents like Rimmel Kind and Free. I think is quite similar. This is beautiful and I would recommend it if you're willing to spend on it. I needed a refuel. We're gonna delve into one of the chunkiest sections, okay? This is a big boy. So let's start with the most common appearance. Oh my goodness. I have 7 full-size NARS Radiant Creamy Concealers and 1 mini. I did not realize how many of these I've been through in my time. Is that all of them? Yeah. I love this concealer. Clearly, it's in my current Project 10 pan. And honestly, I'm gonna be really sad when I use it up because I don't think there's ever been a time. I bought this when I bought my Sheer Glow all those years ago. I don't think there's ever been a time where I didn't have one of these concealers. Actually, I think they recently sent me a couple. I'm gonna take that back, but sorry. There's never been a time where this has not been in my makeup collection. This is the most beautiful everyday concealer. I think this could work for absolutely everyone. Beautiful under the eyes. It's got really good coverage. It's nice and lightweight. It blends beautifully. It is just a great, great concealer. It's a classic for a reason. I genuinely love this. Obviously, NARS have really milked me dry for my money over the years on these concealers. I have loads of different shades. I used to love the shade Chantilly under my eyes, and then I've got vanilla when I got a bit deeper, loads of custards, loads of gingers. I have a darker shade that I use to contour sometimes. I feel like this concealer and the cult following that it has speaks for itself. If you've never tried this concealer, I'd really recommend it. The only thing I don't like about it is its doe foot. It's far too small and it's far too hard. The product itself is beautiful and I continue to buy it. I love it. This is gonna be a satisfying throwaway. This took me by surprise. I have 4 Tarte, I always say Shart. Whenever I say Tarte Shape Tape, I always say Shart. But I have 4 empty Shape Tapes. I've got one on the go at the moment that's very old. I haven't repurchased a Tarte product in a long time, but I used to absolutely love the Tarte Shape Tape. It is extremely full coverage and extremely matte. I rarely use this anymore because again, it's not really my style these days. If I want full coverage, I'll show you the next concealer is what I go for now. This is beautiful for a full glam, lasts all day, full beat look. It's not something I would repurchase these days, but I have repurchased it many times and I used to absolutely love this. These days, if I want that similar full coverage, I'll go for the Jouer Essential Coverage Concealer. It's that same level of coverage. It is full. It lasts all day, etc. But it's slightly more forgiving. It's a bit more creamy. It's nowhere near as matte and drying. So for me and my skin type, it's just a little bit better for me. I absolutely adore this concealer. I have like 4 shades of it at the moment. Ridiculous. But when you're a fake tanner, you do just have to have multiple shades because you never know when you wake up what color you're gonna be. Has your tan faded? Are you freshly fake tan? I have a lot of shades of every concealer just for that very reason because I always want to be able to shade match. But I love this concealer a lot. When I run out of the ones I have, I will be repurchasing it at the end of 10 pan. The Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. What is on me? The Light Illusion Concealer, one of my favorites that I don't talk about that much, but I really used to a lot. This is like an even more hydrating version of the NARS Radiance Concealer. I love the doe foot. It's so satisfying and smooth to use. It's so flawless. It blends. It's a beautiful concealer. I don't have this shade currently. I have the lighter shade that I use under my eyes and I use it still really frequently. I really recommend this. Drew Barrymore is my hero. I adore her. So I love to support Flower Beauty. And yeah, if you've never tried this, I really recommend it. I have 3 tubes of the Nabla concealer. Again, this took me by surprise. I remember liking this, but I didn't realize I'd used up 3 tubes. I must have really liked this, like a lot. This is, again, full coverage, really creamy, really hydrating. Like if you've got oily skin, it may be a bit too creamy for you. I absolutely love this concealer. I don't have one on the go at the moment, which is quite sad because now I'm seeing this, I'm remembering how much I like it. It smells like coconut and it makes your base look flawless and creamy and delicious. It's a lovely concealer. If you'd like to try it, I recommend it. The Charlotte Tilbury The Retoucher Concealer didn't blow me away. I think it was in my 10 pan, so I used it up. It doesn't do a lot for me. Things like this, like the Touche Eclat from YSL and this, they're just It's just a thin layer of something that doesn't do a whole lot. Like, I'd rather just use a brightening concealer. For the price point, I wouldn't recommend it. I really don't remember. I don't have any strong feelings towards it, which is usually a bad thing. Like, I don't think I loved it. I wouldn't recommend this one. I used up an entire pot of the matte concealer from NARS. I'm genuinely shocked by this. These are pigmented. These take so long to use up. Like, I've got multiple shades at the moment. I use them and I love them, but I only use these on my breakout. So the fact that I've used an entire tub is wild to me. I do love this concealer. I have it in my collection. I think I'll always have it in my collection, but I can't believe I've used up an entire tub. That is commitment to a product. Full coverage, matte, does not move, great for covering blemishes, but it also looks nice on under your eyes as well if you use a really little amount. It's a really great concealer. I highly recommend it. Wow. One of my all-time favorite concealers, the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This is a massive bottle. How much do you get? 15 mil, half a foundation size. I think an average concealer is like 5 mil. I think 5-6 mil is your standard concealer. For how much product you get, quite affordable, really. Like, you get a lot of product in here. I've used it up, obviously, and I have one on the go. It's beautiful, full coverage, amazing under your eyes, barely creases, great shade range. Use this to highlight, contour. I've used this as my entire foundation. I mix it with my glowy primers sometimes and use it as a foundation. Because it's so big, I feel like you can use it as a foundation. Really nice. I think it works on so many different skin types. I know this is Soph's favorite concealer. My skin and Soph's skin is very different, but we both love it. Benefit Boing Creaseless Concealer. Online, I've seen mixed reviews about this. I personally love it. The way that this sets is, it feels quite unique to me as a formula. It sets almost like a film. I don't know how to describe it. Once you blend it out, you do need to be careful that you've blended the edges well, because when this is set, it is set, which is why it's creaseless. Like, it doesn't really crease under my eyes. It really does stay in place. Really full coverage. And I think it's also really good on breakouts. Because of that setting power that it has. I've got an under eye shade of this on the go at the moment. I wish I had one for the rest of my base because I loved this. As we can probably tell, I don't need a new concealer. I have loads of concealers on the go. Finally, we have the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. I repurchased it. I have it in my collection now. I rarely reach for it. There are a lot of concealers that I would rather use and reach for more often. Doesn't mean I didn't like it. I did like it. It just doesn't wow me. Will I repurchase it again once I've eventually used up the one I've got? Probably not, because I don't reach for it enough. It is nice. It's got like a medium buildable coverage. It's not crazy intense. For like a natural everyday makeup, I think this works fine, but I like to go for like a really sheer foundation with a full coverage concealer to give me the coverage I want, and I feel like this just doesn't hit, doesn't punch just quite enough, you know? Doesn't give me, it's just a little bit shy of what I want, but it's fine. We're losing light rapidly here, aren't we, kids? Do I dare? Let's bump up that brightness. Diet Coke break. On to the next category, brows. This is limited. I actually don't go through brow product as quickly as I thought I would. My #1 favorite brow product is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Set. This stuff makes your eyebrows waterproof. I used to use my soap. I now use my BFF brow wax, and then I set whatever like shaping product I've put on with this. Nothing will last longer. Like, this is incredible. Because I don't actually use it as a brow gel, I just coat over. I don't use that much product, so I've only used 2 full sizes and 1 mini. I obviously have this on the go at the moment. Best brow gel ever. 3 of the Gimme Brows from Benefit, which I never use anymore. I've got one, I repurchased it, I never use it. Now how I slick my brows down, there's nothing for it to add fibers to, if you know what I mean. Like, because this is flat, adding this on top doesn't really do that much for me anymore. It just makes my eyebrows look blocky. I like to see the individual hairs. I don't use this anymore, but if you aren't like a soap brow person, this is such a good fiber gel for adding texture, volume, color to your brows. I really love it, but I don't use it anymore. I don't know if I'll repurchase this, honestly, for the first time ever, because I've had one in my collection for ages. I have loads of different shades, but I never really use it anymore. Finally, this is the last thing, a Benefit precisely my brow pencil. I'm a brow pomade person, but I do go through phases of using pencil. I've got a couple pencils on the go at the moment. I'm liking the Refi one right now. In the past 3 years, apparently I've only used one, and the rest are all pomades which last you bloody forever. So if you want to talk about like cost per use, pomades far outdo pencils. They last way longer than pencils do. Obviously, if you like the ease of a pencil, then continue using pencil. On to powders. I'm so stubborn. I didn't want to do 2 trips. I trained glutes yesterday. My ass is absolutely killing me. This is pressed and loose powders. Probably one of my favorites ever, the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I've been through 3 of these. Currently got the rose one on the go. I don't actually have the original at the moment, but this is one of the most blurring, smoothing setting powders ever. It makes your makeup look flawless. It's really finely milled, lightweight. It's a gorgeous cult classic. Everyone loves this. I would repurchase it, but I'm currently really liking the rose one. But yeah, great powder. My favorite high street setting powder is the Rimmel Match Perfection. I have 2 empties of these. I've also got one on the go at the moment, wherever that is. A really good powder, very light, very finely milled, smoothing, blurring, it doesn't cake your makeup up. It's a really great powder. So if you want an affordable setting powder, this is the one I would recommend to you. It's really good. This is a really old classic, the RCMA No Color Loose Powder. I used to use this in my makeup artist kit all the time because it is actually translucent. Most translucent powders have a slight cast to them, like a tiny bit of pigment to them. So if you use it on a deeper skin tone, there's a risk of it going a bit ashy. This is actually translucent, so it's the most versatile powder. It layers really nicely, so you can do touch-ups with it. So it's great for like your wedding day. It's great for day to day. Like, this is a big tub. I've used this up and I have a second one, and I think there's about this much left. Something that I really like doing with this is if I have a setting powder that's too dark for me, I will mix this with it, and even though it doesn't have pigment, like it doesn't lighten it in that way, it dilutes the pigment of the darker product, so it lightens the powder. It doesn't change the undertone of the powder, it just lightens the color of it. So it's a great multi-purpose product. It's a makeup artist staple. I really like it. Next, the Fenty Beauty pressed powder. I loved this powder. I love the packaging. I think it's a really cool unit, but it's also very smoothing. It's one of the lightest pressed powders I've ever tried. It makes your makeup look so flawless and airbrushed. It fills your pores. It's beautiful. I haven't repurchased it, but I would repurchase it. I really like this. Actually, I forgot how much I like this. I'm kind of sad I don't have it. You already know, this is my favorite pressed powder, the Charlotte Tilbury. This is obviously empty. I have 2 shades of this on the go at the minute. I always have this in my handbag. This is my handbag powder because it's so small and light, you know, easy to travel with, and it doesn't build up to the point where it looks cakey because it's so light. You can really layer it up, so if you get oily throughout the day, it's the perfect touch-up powder, and yeah, it's great. So this was in my handbag and I used it up. Finally, we've got the MAC Studio Fix powder. This is so old. I love this powder. It's a powder foundation, so it adds coverage as well as setting your makeup. Obviously use this one up. I've got one currently in my 10 pan, which is nearly completely empty, and I also have 2 shades back up in my drawer. I will always have this in my collection. This is great for nights out. I used to wear like my full coverage foundation and then this powder foundation on top to really make everything last. But now I use it more on top of sheer foundations to just add coverage where I need it. And again, it looks really lovely in pictures. I love this powder. And that's it for powders. Let's move on to bronzers, highlighters. Starting with the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. I used to love this. My best friends bought me this for my 16th birthday, I think. I used every last drop of this. I wouldn't repurchase this out of principle because they only have this shade. It's the least inclusive bronzer you've ever seen. It was a light bronzer on me. The fact that they call it a universal bronzer, I think is genuinely insulting. It's absolutely not. So I loved the formula. It was a beautiful product to have out on your desk, and it felt very luxurious to use, and it had a beautiful finish, but won't be repurchasing this. Until they extend the shade range, I don't want to purchase this. I've got a little eeny weeny baby Hoola bronzer. This was in my Project 10 pan Generation 1 and I used it up. Obviously, I've challenged myself for Generation 2 to use a full-size Hoola bronzer. This took me forever to use up, so I'm honestly dreading how long it's gonna take me to use the current one. But this is my everyday nose contour shade. I don't think a day goes by that I don't use Hoola bronzer. You've seen me use this every day for years and years and years. It's a staple in my collection. I'll never not have it. It's great. I love this bronzer, obviously. You guys know that. I have got a NARS Cassie. Oh no. Oh, this is a powder. I thought this was a bronzer. Sorry. This is a pressed powder. This is NARS Beach. I forgot about this. I forgot this even existed. I loved this. This was, I think, also in my 10 pan. This is the shade Beach. It's a really nice pressed powder. I would like to repurchase that. I remember absolutely loving this. I think it has coverage to it. I think it's got a little bit of coverage. The shade Beach was really, really nice. I remember liking this, but I feel like I need to try it again. This is the Bobbi Brown bronzer. This was in the shade Natural. I loved this bronzer. Again, it was a 10 pan product. The shade Natural was a really red tone bronzer. So this was a gorgeous summer shade for me. It looked really natural. It was quite dark, so it was also great for contouring. Very, very matte, very flat, a good, deep, pigmented, blendable bronzer. I really, really liked this. Will I repurchase it? No, I have far too many bronzers to repurchase anytime soon. I did really like this a lot. I only have 2 highlighters and I have no blushes. I have not used up a blush in 3 years. Blush takes so long to use. I don't use enough product and I have so many. I like to switch up my blush every day, so I don't have any empty blushes, but I have 2 empty highlighters. First one is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood, what is this? Beauty Light wand in the shade Spotlight. I've got one that's on its last legs in my collection at the moment. I also have a backup. This is a beautiful highlighter. You've all seen this before. I don't need to talk about it, but it is a really gorgeous glow. Makes your makeup look so fresh and dewy. Love it. Used it up. Will continue to repurchase. And finally, another Charlotte Tilbury product, which is a bronzer and a highlighter in one. The Filmstar Bronze and Glow palette. My God, this took me forever to use up. I loved this when I first got it, but it's not something I would repurchase at all. The bronzer was a little bit too shimmery for what I wanted to use it for. I wanted this to be my contour and my highlight. It had too much glow for me as a contour shade, and it was a little bit too ashy as a bronzer. So it didn't hit the 2 points I wanted for them to be the 2 things that they could have been, you know? I want my bronzers to be warmer, my contours to be cooler and matte. So this is a cool toned, glowy bronzer, you know? So it just didn't hit right. But I used it and I liked it enough. And the highlighter was really pretty, but I have other highlighters that I prefer, so I don't need to repurchase this. And I also have the individual Charlotte Tilbury highlighters now, which I think is very similar in formula to this one, so I don't need to buy this again. Oh my God, onto mascara. Get ready. There's more. This is the one that shocked me. I posted on my story. I am so many mascaras here. Hang on, my iPad's about to die, which I use as a monitor. I just need to grab my charger. One sec. I'm so hungry. A snack break is needed, and then we'll get into these mascaras. If you're wondering, these grenade bars and salted caramel, I have at least one a day. They're so good. Snack break. Snack break complete. Will that satisfy me for more than 5 minutes? No. But will it get me through to the end of the video? Hopefully, yes. Okay, I'm gonna try and speed through mascaras. I have 5 full-sized Bad Gal Bangs, 3 mini Bad Gal Bangs. This used to be my favorite mascara. I obviously have used up loads of them. I've not used this in so long. I think I have got one in my drawer and I'm really tempted to get it out, but I've got about 4 mascaras open and on the go at the moment, so I'm not gonna open it for a while. But I used to absolutely love this mascara. It makes your lashes so long, so thick. It does smudge a little bit on me, which I think is why I moved on to other things. It is really quick, it builds really quick, really, really good. Like, we used to be besties, this mascara and I. And I'm kind of sad that I don't use it anymore. So I'm definitely gonna pull it out again, but I 100% recommend this mascara. obviously I loved it. Next we have one of my all-time faves, the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk mascara, which I think is the most beautiful mascara in the world. I absolutely love the packaging on this. This is a gorgeous mascara. I do have my burgundy one, which I'm wearing loads at the moment, but this is volumizing, it's lengthening, it's long lasting, it's a gorgeous formula, beautiful packaging. Really love this. It's obviously on the pricey side, but for me it's worth it, and I will continue to repurchase this mascara. I usually do have it in my collection. It just makes my lashes look so good. It can make them look really fluffy and light. It's also really great on your lower lashes because it's like a flat wand, so you can really build up the product. Really love this mascara. So 3 of them. Obviously you saw this coming. I have 4 my Toy Boy mascaras from Diego Della Palma, which is my current favorite mascara. I use this basically every day. I obviously have one on the go. I think I have 1 backup in my drawer, so when that's run out I'm gonna be very sad. The only downside is the obscene packaging. I think it's funny, it looks like a dildo, love that for them, but it's huge. That's what she said. It's too big. It's a really inconvenient travel mascara, but I always want to have it with me. So yeah, I wish that they had a mini. I've literally pitched to them, please bring out a mini that's called Size Doesn't Matter. I would die. But until that day, I will continue to repurchase the full size. This is girth. But it's the best mascara. I'm wearing it today. It just makes my eyelashes look phenomenal. It's gorgeous. Another one of my favorite mascaras of all time is actually from Makeup Forever. Their Smoky Lash Mascara. This is so thickening. It makes your lashes so long and volumized and chunky and gorgeous, and this lasts all day. It's a great mascara. I haven't used this in years. Like, I think these ran out quite early on in my £10 journey, so I haven't repurchased it since, but I'm gonna write this down and pick one up when £10's over, because this is such a nice mascara that just doesn't get enough hype. The Too Faced Damn Girl mascara is actually great, and I completely forgot this even existed until I opened my box. This is so good. This is like, again, really volumizing and chunky and thickening, but you can also have a nice light fluffy effect with this. This, I just don't think it ever really got its moment, but this is a great mascara if you want to try it. I also have a Better Than Sex mascara, which I like. I currently have one on the go, but this is for a natural makeup day for me. Like, I cannot get that like full chunky long dark lash that I really like with this. It's far too thin. It doesn't build up as much as I would like, but this is kind of like the fuller, thicker version of this. So out of the 2, I prefer the Damn Girl. If you want to try a Too Faced mascara, I would say Damn Girl is my favorite. Who remembers when I used to love the MAC Upward Lash? RIP, this has been discontinued, but this was a favorite for a good couple of years. I liked this because it's got this really teeny tiny brush, but the brush itself is hollow, so it holds loads of product. So when you brush it through, it deposits so much, so you can get really thick, chunky black lashes. I won't go on about it too much because it's discontinued, but I used to love this mascara. Okay, the rest are mascaras that I liked but didn't love, so I'll kind of breeze through these. The first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills mascara. I liked this. I wouldn't repurchase it. It kind of reminds me of the Too Faced mascara. It's got a very similar wand, but it just doesn't give me that thick fullness that I really love, so I would not repurchase the Anastasia one. An oldie but a goldie, the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I do like this as an affordable mascara. It's good, it does the job, does give you good length and good volume. It's just not one that I've ever thought to repurchase. There are other mascaras that I prefer, but it is good, it lasts well, it doesn't flake or smudge on me, so if you want an affordable mascara, I do really like this one. The Hourglass mascara just was good. Like, I don't know, I don't have anything stand out. I don't really like the wand. It's very basic. The packaging's really cool, but the mascara itself, it's the Caution mascara, it just didn't really do a lot for me. It just didn't give me that oomph, that thickness, that drama that I like in my mascara. It was just a bit meh. The YSL mascara, this is so scented that it made my eyes water, so Oh my god, I will not repurchase this. It's beautiful packaging. For the price point, like, yes, it looked really nice. It gave me a lot of volume, but there are cheaper mascaras that do just as well and better than this, and that don't have like a crazy fragrance that makes my eyes burn. I did like it. I felt very bougie when I used it, but I will not be repurchasing it. The Lancome Monsieur Big, another kind of sexualized mascara. I understand wand, I get it, it's just funny to me. Mr. Big. This mascara was all right. It got better as it dried out, which is a lot of the time the case with mascaras, but the first kind of couple of weeks I didn't really dig it that much. It didn't build that well, but once it started to dry, it did allow me to add more volume, but it still just never hit quite how I wanted it to hit. So I liked it, it was fine. For the price point, I wouldn't repurchase it. Same goes for the Caviar mascara from Laura Mercier. That sounds like it's actually got product in it. No, it smells old. I just got it on my nose. This was just, again, a natural day-to-day mascara, and I just don't do natural day-to-day mascaras. If I'm wearing mascara, I want to look like I'm wearing mascara. Like, this is me with natural day-to-day mascara. This is my day-to-day mascara. So this just never ticked that box for me. It never gave me that volume, never had the drama that I wanted. This is one of my oldest favorites. This is from Bourjois. It's the Volume Clubbing Ultra Black, and I think back in the day I went through at least 6 of these. I used to absolutely love this. I know it was very, very thick, very heavy, very volumizing, everything I like about a mascara, honestly. But I would be very interested if this is still available to try this again and see how it looks. I can't really remember it, but I just remember how much I loved it. Maybe one day I'll try it again. Maybe one day I'll do a full face of products I used to love that I've forgotten about, and we'll see what I think now. The L'Oreal Ultimated Mascara, Ultimated? Unlimited. It says unlimited. I'm getting tired. The L'Oreal Unlimited mascara, just fine. Again, just didn't really impress me that much. I don't know what to say. It was just lengthening, but it didn't give me that thickness, that volume. I sound like a broken record. We know what I look for in a mascara. Oh, and there's 2 of them in here. So apparently I liked it enough to use 2. Maybe I liked it more than I remember, but there's 2 in here. Interesting. I have a MAC mascara, and it doesn't say what it's called, and I can't remember. I can't remember what I thought about this. I think looking at the brush, I might have liked it. I like a thick, chunky brush. Ooh, that's old. But I don't have any strong opinions on this. I can't remember what I thought about it, which is, again, never a good sign. If it doesn't stay in my memory, I probably didn't care for it that much. I'm just going to say I've used it up, so I can't have hated it. We have 2 more. The Urban Decay Troublemaker Mascara. Again, I don't remember how I felt about this. Looking at the brush, I don't think it was my favorite. I think this is probably a little bit spindly, not as thickening as I wanted, probably very lengthening, but I can't really remember. Finally, I used to love this, the L'Oreal Bambi Eyes False Lashes. This is great if you like the kind of mascaras that I like, which is thick, chunky, long lashes. This is a great high street option for you. I do really like it. Is it my favorite? No, but I did definitely used to love it. If you've been intrigued to try it, if it's something that you've been looking at and you've been wondering if it's any good, I liked it, so maybe give it a go. I only have 2 empty liquid liners, and they are both the Too Faced Better Than Sex liners. I'm surprised by this. I think I must have thrown away other liners in the past, because I use wing liner most days, so they can't only be 2, but this is all I have in the box. This is probably my favorite liquid liner. I don't think it gets enough hype. Too Faced Better Than Sex liner, so good. Waterproof, lasts all day. It's an amazing liner. It's got a brush tip, which is my favorite. It's really dark black. So good. It's so good. They recently released a brown one, which I actually didn't like as much, which I was disappointed in, but I love the black one. Really good liner if you're in the market for a new liner. There are no lipsticks or lip glosses in this, not one, which is crazy. I just have 3 lip pencils. The first one is Kat Von D Bow and Arrow, which used to be an old school classic. So many people used to love this, and I did too. As well as Jouer Sienna. This was a gorgeous, like, brownie, cool toned nude shade, which I also really like. And finally, Becca Vacation, which I love. It was a gorgeous brown tone nude again. All 3 of them are nude liners. I basically only wear nude liners, and they were all technical pencils because they go down way quicker. A really lovely liner. Great colour, perfect, everyday, brownie nude, stunning. But I change up my lips so often. I don't have any empty lip product. I also don't have any empty eyeshadows or blushes. One thing that I do go through like nothing else, setting spray. I am gonna go through these so quickly because setting spray is pretty boring. Most of them do the same job. They are either hydrating, setting. If they do stand out to me, then I will tell you, but I'm just gonna show you what's here. So the first one is the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Face. I would not repurchase this. It feels like you're spraying hairspray on your face. It's almost sticky like hairspray. Like, it makes your makeup last all night. Do not get me wrong, but I did not enjoy using it. It just felt tacky and sticky and it literally made me cough. So wouldn't recommend this one, but I will if you need something heavy duty. I will recommend, however, the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, which is one of my all-time favorites. I've been through 4 of these and I love it and I continue to repurchase it. I don't currently have one, but it is great for longevity. It's a cult classic for a reason. I really recommend it if you need a setting spray. It's really, really good. Love it. Particularly the vitamin C one because it smells like oranges. These ones all just kind of fall into the same category. They're all like hydrating / refreshing mists. So I've got the Skin Proud one, the Pixie one, and the Revolution one. None of them stood out to me as anything special, but they all did set my makeup to bring back, you know, the glow, added a bit of hydration, they felt nice, and they did what they needed to do, but none of them have any outstanding qualities, if you know what I mean. I probably wouldn't repurchase any of these, but I also didn't dislike them. I liked them, but they didn't do enough. Oh, same with this one, the Saturday Skin one. These 4 are all fine. They all did the job, but they're not ones that I would like tell you to run out and buy. Next, I've got the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal, as well as the KVD Locket. These are both like long-lasting ones and I liked both of them. I really liked the mister on the Flower Beauty. It's a really, really fine mist. I definitely would recommend the Flower Beauty setting spray. And the KVD Locket is again just fine. It does the job, it holds your makeup in place, it sets down powders, and it's nice, but I wouldn't repurchase it. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I like this, I do, but the rate that I go through setting spray, it's not cost effective for me. I use setting spray about 4 times throughout my routine and I drench my face. I go through setting spray the fastest out of everything. I'm not gonna continue to buy an expensive setting spray. I've found ones that I love that are more affordable and I'm gonna stick with those. So I won't be repurchasing this, but I do really like it. The Huda Beauty Cocoa Glow Hydrating Mist. I liked this, but I have hydrating mists that I much prefer that are more affordable. So I won't be repurchasing this, but if you've got dry skin and you want an extra layer of hydration, this is really nice. But again, there are more affordable options that I think work just as well. Finally, the last product. Probably one of my favorite setting sprays is the Too Faced Hangover Setting Spray. I actually have repurchased this. I love this one, hydrating, and it smells nice and it feels really light and refreshing. And yes, it is more expensive, but it's not Charlotte Tilbury expensive. Get loads of product, and I like the mister on it. It's like a nice light mister. I really, really like this product, and I probably will continue to repurchase it. This is one of my favorite setting sprays. Very good. And we're done. We did it. Those 2 videos combined are 3 years worth of makeup, skincare, hair care, body care, beauty product, and I can finally get rid of all of them. Oh, damn. I'm so glad that's done. I think next time I do an empties video is gonna be once one of these boxes is filled with empty products rather than the massive box that I was filling up before. So when I fill this box with empty products, I will be filming more regular empties videos just to stop me from going insane while I film them, because I've been sat here for about 3 hours talking about rubbish. And so they can be more regular, because I think you guys really enjoyed my empties videos. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. Congratulations, round of applause for you. You're wonderful and I love you. I hope you have the best day. Is there anything in this video that you are interested in trying? Let me know. Is there any products here that you're like, fine, I'll do it, I'll try it. I love you so much and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah!